Okay, we will resume. Unfortunately, we're having technical difficulties because of the way this file was saved. But, we'll do it this way. I wasn't really planning on stopping in the middle, but it was a good point.
When carrying the load, remember to keep your movement smooth and to avoid any fast or jerky motion. Do not change your grip while carrying and do not twist your body. Keep the load close to your waist, and all load should be carried between your waist and your shoulders, as this will allow the most stability and control. When setting down the load, the reverse procedure to lifting should be applied, using your legs, not your back, to handle the load. Do not twist as you're putting down the load. If the load requires adjustment, lower it first, then push or pull it into place. Regardless of the shape and appearance of the object, the principles of safe lifting remain the same. So, in summary, the basic steps for safe lifting are: clear and assess the area, check and size up the load, take proper foot position, bend your knees, keep your back upright, take a proper hold, lift with your legs, and keep the load close to your waist. By following these simple steps, you will significantly reduce the risk of injury when lifting. But remember, you're the key. The golden rule when lifting must be to always lift within your own lifting capacity. And if in doubt, get help or use a mechanical lifting device. Never lift an object or a weight that is beyond your own lifting capacity. If a team lift is required, the same principles still apply. Ideally, the people involved in a team lift should be of a similar height and physique. The load should be evenly shared, but most importantly, one person should take responsibility for the operation and act as a coordinator. Many objects, simply because of their shape, invite the use of incorrect lifting techniques. Regardless of the object, following the correct procedure is vital to minimise the risk of injury. When using a hand trolley or barrow, the principles of safe lifting still apply. Your arms should be extended and by your sides, with your back straight. And finally, having examined all the steps necessary for safe lifting, the other obvious factor to consider when carrying or when using a mechanical lifting device is to ensure you have adequate vision. Obscured vision can easily lead to injury, not only to the person carrying or moving the load, but also to other people, as well as to the goods themselves. As well as understanding the steps necessary to ensure safe lifting, the following three factors should be taken into account to minimise the risk of accidents and injuries: the nature of the load, the working conditions, and the personal limitations of the individuals performing the task. The nature of the load. A load may be difficult to handle safely if it's too awkward, if it's too soft to control, is unbalanced, unstable, or has contents which are liable to shift, contains moving parts, is difficult to grip, or is poorly positioned. In addition, there may be physical hazards, such as whether the object has sharp edges or is hot or cold to touch. Loads can also be chemically hazardous and can be potentially dangerous if they leak or spill, or even in some circumstances if they come into direct contact with the skin. Chemical loads also present the possibility of the inhalation of cables. Thoroughfares and work areas should be working conditions. The layout of the work.
I think that point that they just made about chemical loads is very important. If we were to be lifting something that's potentially caustic, even like a battery or something like that that's reasonably heavy, we should always make sure that we've got the correct safety equipment on: gloves, glasses, safety shoes, etc. Okay?
should take into account the distance over which typical loads have to be moved and the height of shelves and tables. Thoroughfares and work areas should be significantly spacious to allow easy movability. Floors and other walking surfaces should be level and firm. Slippery, greasy or wet surfaces are obviously particularly dangerous. Adequate illumination of the work area is important and care should be taken where uncomfortable temperatures exist. High temperatures can result in fatigue and loss of handling efficiency, and low temperatures will lead to numbness of the hands and loss of manual
You
dexterity.
can't complain about the high temperatures in here today.
Personal limitations. Lifting, carrying and moving loads consumes muscular energy. People vary enormously in their capacity to produce such energy, and full account should be taken of an individual's limitations. The individual's capacity is largely determined by age, strength and degree of body development, general state of health, degree of skill and experience, and susceptibility to fatigue. Stretching, either before a lift or at the start of the day, can be most helpful. And you should always try to give yourself time to recover from strenuous tasks by alternating them with tasks that are less physically demanding. Regardless of where you are or what the objects may be, the steps towards safe lifting are always the same, even for familiar objects such as a box of paper, a stack of books, or even for a chair. The essential lifting message is, the more you bend your knees, the less you'll use your back.
Okay, so the more you bend your knees, the less you're going to use your back. Back injuries are probably one of the most common injuries in the workplace. I know I've suffered them myself, and they are excruciating but also very difficult to diagnose and to treat. All right, let's just have a look at a couple of slides. Right. So, as we went through in the beginning, first of all we assess the loads. If you can't lift it, use some sort of a mechanical aid. If you require assistance, call on a colleague. And it's also very important to make sure that there's no obstacles in your way. As you see here today, we've cleaned the area, there's nothing in the road. We're going to be lifting those bags of active growth soil over there, which are probably no more than 5 kilos. We can assess the weights on them. It doesn't actually have a weight that's 25 litres, so it's probably about 5 kilos. Okay. When lifting, keep the back straight, bend the knees. Okay, so if we're about to lift a load, we come to the load, we first of all assess it to make sure that it's not going to be too heavy. So we can just give it a bit of a rough idea. We get a good firm position, we bend our knees, we power lift, and we lift using the knees. Okay? Once we've lifted, we then get ourselves into a stable position again, move around and place that item where we're going to. Again, bend our knees and place it down. Okay? Fortunately, these aren't very heavy loads, but okay, so it's the opposite. Do we have any questions? Does anybody have any prior injuries that would prevent them from lifting that? No? Good. Okay, so we've got the prior position, the stable position. Keep our load close to our waist. Keep our head up. Make sure that we've got good vision of the path where we're going to be going. Avoid twisting. And if the load's too heavy or slipping, place the load down and then adjust. Okay? Can we maybe get someone to demonstrate that, or each of you to demonstrate that. Fitzroy, would you be able to demonstrate those techniques, please?
Where do you want to be put?
If we could just take the soil from that position and put it on the table. Okay, we're assessing the load, getting in a stable position, lifting the load with our legs, turning around and placing the load down. All right? Excellent, very well done. No, we can leave that there because Victoria can lift the next one. Okay, so yeah.
My feet right.
Up, straight, yeah, you're good. Head up and place the load down. All right, I think that's very good, and I think that's probably all we need to know for this exercise. Again, if there's something that's going to be heavy, such as a battery, which will weigh more than 5 kilos, make sure that you've got the correct grip on the product. Use a lifting aid if necessary, or ask a colleague to give you a hand. If it's something that's acidic, like a bag of a box of acid or something like that, make sure you've got the protective gear on. All right. Move smoothly. Shouldn't lift anything too heavy. Use the legs, not the back, because these are the strongest muscles in the body, and we're using those to do our lifting. Okay. Well, that's the end of that slideshow. Thank you very much for attending. I hope you learnt something out of this and can apply that and pass it on. I've got a handout here which just reiterates those points, so you can take that away with you. Manual fact handling sheet. And I'd also ask if you could maybe fill out a feedback form for me. This enables us to improve the quality of training. One thing that I would probably put down now is get the instructor to make sure he knows what he's doing with the technology first. But I did actually go through it numerous times beforehand, but that's my excuse. So would you mind filling that out? And that's the end of our session. You've both been very good. You can both have another lolly. Before you fill out the assessment, just to make sure that you get a good assessment. All right. Thank you. Don't criticise the presenter too much.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.